Hello everyone, it's me, the angry stack of beverage napkins, back again with another response video. I just found this video by this guy TJ1 or something like that, where he basically says that he advocates violence against people with different political opinions than him. If you don't know 1TJ, he's basically your typical far-left, male feminist, social authoritarian, virtue-signaling, social justice warrior, politically correct identitarian. But anyway, let's look at the video.
In my view, it's not about trying to defeat white supremacists in a battle of ideas. I don't think that's gonna work. Some ideas are just unacceptable and we have to prevent their propagation.
So what he's essentially saying here is you should use violence to censor people if they say things you disagree with. What an idiot.
Hi, I'm T1J.
Follow me.
Okay, so this video is a bit YouTube centric, so if you don't watch a lot of YouTube videos, you might be a little lost on this one, but just bear with me. So for those of you that haven't been on YouTube for a long time, there used to be this feature called video responses. You could upload a video and then specifically tag it as a response to another specific video. And you could see all the responses that people made to your videos, and you could go to any video on YouTube and click a little button and see all the responses that other people made to that video. It was a pretty awesome feature. It was a great way for creators to interact with their audience and other creators. And it was also a great way for smaller YouTubers to get noticed. It just helped make YouTube feel like a big cohesive community. But eventually YouTube decided that it didn't want to be a social network. It wanted to basically be internet TV. So they got rid of video responses, among other cool features. Hashtag rip YouTube, hashtag YouTube party is over, hashtag make YouTube great again. But of course people still make response videos, but surprisingly response videos are a bit different than the old school video responses. Video responses were all about having a conversation and giving your 2 cents, and they were often solicited by the person who made the original video. Response videos, on the other hand, are almost never solicited and are more about creating content for your own audience rather than having a conversation with other creators. Some channels quite literally create nothing but response videos, and some of them have amassed very large audiences doing this. These types of videos are very common among YouTubers that discuss politics and social issues and stuff like that. So as you can imagine, I have seen my fair share of them. And I gotta be honest with you, I kind of hate them. Real quick, I want to differentiate between a response video and a reaction video. A reaction video is more like a review of a piece of content. They can be satirical or comedic, but they don't really offer a counter argument. Response videos can also be comedic, but they specifically offer a counter argument to what's being said. Now, a few people I like and often agree with make response videos, and sometimes they're 55 minutes long. Goddamn Sean and Jen. So it's not really a knock on the people that decide to make them. I just think it's a flawed format. You know what? Let's do a list. Response videos are usually pretty low effort, especially when compared to original arguments of the same length. I mean, they rely heavily on someone else's content. Many response videos literally feature someone else's video in its entirety. I can see why they're so popular. I mean, half the work's already done for you. Now, lazy content isn't inherently bad. I'm a simple man. I've watched my fair share of story times and challenge videos. Did you know that the hot Cheetos bath challenge was a thing? Fucking YouTube, man. My problem is that when you're talking about important societal issues, you should have more to offer than playing a clip from someone else's video and then saying the equivalent of nuh-uh. Making YouTube videos about politics and social issues can be tricky because you generally have to find a way to make a compelling point in a limited amount of time. Most of my videos are under 10 minutes long, which is nowhere near enough time to truly tackle any one of these issues. Probably no video of any watchable length really is. I fully expect to often have to elaborate and expand on points that I make in my videos because it's impossible to cover everything. Response videos, however, kind of inherently assume that what's being said in the video is all that person has to say on that topic, which I'm guessing is almost never the case. So these responses are almost always made in a decontextualized manner, which is unfair to the person you're responding to. Because response videos are usually decontextualized, they also usually result in straw men or misrepresentations of other people's arguments. Now, a lot of the time this happens due to what appears to be intentional dishonesty. And we should talk about that because it's a pretty common pattern. In the beginning of this video, Mr. Napkin Man used a clip from one of my videos and claimed that it was evidence that I support violence against people who disagree with me. Anyone who has actually watched that video knows that I didn't say that, but the Napkin has carefully cut the clip so that you can't see the full context of my statements. And as I said, it's near impossible to get the full context from one video anyway, so the Napkin has taken it upon himself to make assumptions about what he thinks I mean. And he added his own commentary, basically telling his audience how they should interpret the clip rather than encouraging them to go watch the whole video for themselves. Now, this is a fictional example, but people who make response videos do this kind of thing all of the time. I see it all the time. But even if you're not intentionally malicious, if you're making a video for your channel and your audience, it's super unlikely that you're gonna add something to your video that makes you look bad or makes your argument look weak. You're gonna edit the video in a way that benefits your argument the most, which may not necessarily be the way the original creator intended the argument to be presented. You have absolutely no incentive to give them the benefit of the doubt or to see things from their point of view, which is what you should do in a good faith discussion, but response videos actively discourage that. So when you make a response video, basically what you're doing is saying, here's this person and here's why they are wrong. And again, a lot of people are intentionally malicious. And this is where sort of the ponage aspect of response videos comes into play, where the goal is basically to humiliate the person and ruin their reputation, which again is very common on YouTube in the political and social justice space. These types of videos usually have more insults and personal attacks and actual counter arguments, and they generally result in breeding animosity for that person among the audience. When a person with a particularly large audience makes a video like this, it usually leads to dogpiling and harassment of the person being responded to. And it gets out of hand sometimes. There are people who literally can't get online without being attacked, sometimes in pretty disgusting ways, simply because of their opinions and, to be honest, usually misrepresentations of their opinions. This is a huge problem on YouTube and the internet in general, and a lot of the people who are the sources of this harassment don't seem to care that it's taking place. In fact, some of them seem to enjoy it, which to me is reprehensible. But just like with the last point, even if you aren't being intentionally malicious, if the only thing your audience knows about this person is this response you did to them, it creates negativity towards that person within your audience. I've had people that I'm friendly with make response videos to me, and I still got a bunch of shitty, hateful comments from their audience. So I guess it's possible that a response video can be done well and avoid most of these problems. It just seems super unlikely because of the nature of the format. You'd have to take the time to really consider the context of the argument being made, and then be charitable to the possible nuances involved, and then form a detailed, informed counter-argument free of ad hominem and personal attacks. You'd have to avoid deceptive editing, of course, and probably you should encourage your audience to watch the full video before even watching your response. And you should make it clear that you don't condone dogpiling or harassment, and you should be civil. If you're gonna do a response video, at the very least, be civil. That would go a long way. I know a lot of people do these kinds of videos for entertainment, but you're dealing with other human beings here, and there's no excuse to be an asshole or encourage your audience to be assholes. Like, it's not okay to be an asshole. Why is that something that even needs to be said? People make response videos to me every now and then, and every time that happens, I always get a bunch of messages that are like, hey, did you see this video? Are you gonna respond to it? And honestly, after being disappointed over and over again, I don't really watch response videos anymore. They're obnoxious. So if you make a response video to me, or anyone else for that matter, it's super unlikely that I'm gonna watch it, unless I'm like already a fan of your videos. Make an original argument and then maybe I'll watch it, as long as you're not being an asshole. That's just me though. What do you think? Thank you for watching my video. Be sure to subscribe to this channel for more discussions about social issues, current events, and pop culture. And if you like my videos, consider supporting me on Patreon. And remember, stay Heiko.